I did it again, guys. I beat the highest rated player I've ever beat in my entire life. And we're going to take a look at that victory today. There's some really nice themes in this game. So the main overarching theme is peace activation. So activation, that's really what I'm going to hammer home in this video. We're going to pause at 3 or 4 spots in the game, maybe more. And I'm going to have you guys try to find some of the key ideas that led to this victory. There's some other great themes as well. So breaking through, tactics, calculation, sacrifices, initiative, underdevelopment, vulnerable king, mating ideas, domination, and in-between moves. It was kind of a complex game, but we're going to go through it together and highlight the key aspects. If you guys have been enjoying the journey, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let's jump into this game. At the start of this game, I was 1835. Our opponent was 1973. I think they're actually even a little bit higher than that. So almost 2,000 elo, almost our goal. And we did get the victory here. So I started off with King's Pawn. Opponent went Sicilian Defense, and I went for the Smith Morra Gambit. Also, I played this game like 2 weeks ago, guys, so I might misremember some small details, and I'm going to do my best to recall my thought process, but we'll see. So these are the main moves of the Smith Morra. Just developing. They attack the bishop. I drop it back to b3 because in the Smith Morra, there's this idea to go knight d5 at some moment, so I thought it would be correct to try to keep the bishop on this diagonal. They go queen out. I go rook over, which apparently there was a better move. I looked through it, and it's pretty complicated, so we won't worry about it for right now. And opponent goes pawn to d6. Now here's the first moment where we're going to pause in this game. So you're white, and what do you want to play in this position? You can give it a little bit of thought. So I felt that it was the moment for knight d5 to go for the crazy move. And basically the idea in this case is if they take, we're going to take with the queen, setting up this battery, but also attacking the undefended rook. So we have a double attack and we're infiltrating over here. So for those reasons, black cannot recapture, and instead they went queen c6. And this knight d5 move, by the way, is again about piece activation, right? Because we're coming in, we're hitting the queen. We might trade off for this bishop at some point. Our knight is very active, centralized here. So after this, I didn't see an immediate way to continue making threats, so I just continued developing, which should always be your guys' default. Apparently bishop f4 was better here, adding pressure on this pawn. But play continues. And again, I just continue the development. Go rook to c1, hitting the queen with tempo. Black goes knight c5. And now we're going to pause again. It's white to play. What do you guys want to play in this position? It's a somewhat complex position, so give it some thought. So I considered like maybe, okay, if we take, but they just recapture, and actually then their pawns are pretty strong and they're going to come push, and the bishop is helping support that. So I kind of ruled that out. And I looked at, okay, I mean, I could trade. I don't know what that really accomplishes. And then I realized that if black actually can't take this knight with the pawn, because we have bishop takes d5 with the skewer on the queen and the rook. So that's my one hint to you guys, is we don't have to do anything with the knight at the moment because they can't take. So give it one more try if you want. What else would you play in this position? So here I went for pawn to e5. And the idea is I want to start to break things open. So my rook is pointed at black's king. Black is underdeveloped. When our pawn is on e5, they also can't bring the knight out. And if they take, we recapture with the knight, and our knight becomes pretty active, hitting the queen, adding pressure. And I mean, we just have like 2 knights in black's face. You know, like this is pretty scary. So I was very proud of this move. If you guys found that, great job. And from here, black went bishop b7 because they realized, okay, either capture is bad, which is kind of insane. But yeah, either capture here is not good for black. Okay, and now we actually have a concrete tactic here to improve our position, also maybe win a little bit of material. So yeah, white to play. What are the best moves here? So it starts with knight takes bishop, knight recaptures. How do you guys follow this up? I went pawn recaptures, hitting the knight, also removing a defender of this knight. So after this knight moves to f5, we can capture on c5. Now there's two different ways to capture. So the computer said that bishop captures is actually better because now we hold this pawn. And it's a little dicey for black. So if they castle, I mean, it's not super clear to follow up, super clear how to follow up as white. The computer found bishop b4, which is kind of a hard move to find, but we're hitting the queen with tempo and we control these squares. So we're basically forcing the queen like off of this diagonal, getting rid of this battery. And yeah, play would continue from here. Maybe you could go like rook in or something. Actually, yeah, that looks pretty devastating, actually. Yeah, I mean, oh, they maybe can like take, and I guess after takes, we're up like some material or something. So yeah, it was complicated. I went for the simpler capture, which was rook takes, which has an immediate tempo on the queen. Also activating the rook, we can maybe stack later on, also adding pressure to this knight. The problem is that it does drop this pawn, and I think I overlooked that in the game. So they do win a pawn back, but as a result of this tactic, we won a piece. So we're up 2 points of material now because we were down 1 point from the Smith Morra Gambit, and now we're up 2 points. So play continues. I didn't see a good move here for my queen. If I go here, they can maybe take my bishop. So, and yeah, that would just, well, I don't know. It might have been fine. I decided to trade queens. They recapture. And as always, guys, if you guys would have done anything differently here, just comment below. Or if you have any questions, just let me know. Now, here's another moment in the game we're going to pause. So we're doing a lot of pauses today, but I think there's a lot of nice moves for you guys to find here. So this one, again, ties in with the concept of piece activation. It's white to play. How would you guys improve your position here? So notice that our rook is pointed at black's king. Black still hasn't castled. They're still underdeveloped here. They do have a little bit of attention on our knight, and yeah, maybe they might double our pawns, but we might just have to deal with that. So in this position, I decided to go bishop f4 with the idea that I'm uncovering this file and I'm adding an attacker to this knight. And if they take, I think actually I might have been planning to take and prevent black from castling. So yeah, I felt like this was a very nice move in the game, and the computer agreed that this was the best move. Okay, opponent continues developing and defending the knight at the same time. And now again, we have a nice moment here. So it's white to play. You have a concrete way to win material. Okay, if you paused and gave it some thought and you still need a hint, my hint is sometimes you need to be bold. So you have all this pressure. Black's king is still in the middle. How can you exploit the fact that black's king is vulnerable here? So the move is bishop sacrifice. Best move according to the engine and what happened in the game. Again, a move I was very proud of. I mean, this is a scary move to play. I'm playing a stronger opponent. If for some reason I miscalculated something, like I'm just losing, I'm blundering away my advantage. But there's actually just a very concrete way that this works, which is after they recapture and we capture with the rook, we have a double attack on this knight. And if they try to come defend with the king, they're blocking their own rook. So we can still just take the knight with check. So yeah, really nice combo. So just backing up here, bishop f4, activating the rook, activating the bishop, attacking black's weakness, The rook comes over to defend, and then bishop e6 is the breakthrough move here, taking advantage of black's lack of development and our piece activity. Our pieces are all very active here. All right, and before we move on, I want to emphasize that this move was maybe a little bit risky. Anytime you're relying on like a little bit of a fancy tactic, it can be risky. So you're like, oh yeah, look at me, I found a nice little tactic. If you miss one in between move, one little detail, you're just losing a piece. So you have to really bring a curiosity mindset to your opponent's options. So you shouldn't always just assume they're going to do what you expect. You have to look for in-between moves. You have to look for other options. So in this position, like maybe there's some knight jumps that are a problem. What if black castles? We have to also maybe worry about like some back rank issues. So you have to really check these things. And in this position, I actually overlooked there's a move, knight e4, which is kind of tricky. I mean, it's hitting our rook, our bishop is hanging, and then the knight is defended. So how do you deal with this position? Now the computer found, okay, you can go bishop f5, and basically now the knight is pinned. We're going to pick up the knight on the next move, or at least trade. And actually the back rank issues aren't as much of an issue really, because the knight and the rook both help defend on e1. So yeah, it works out in this case. But I want to emphasize for you guys that you really want to check for in-between moves. Remember, that was one of the themes of today's video. And it's not just for you, it's also for your opponent. And that's one of the things that has really helped me rise the rating ladder. And it's become much more ingrained as I've become a stronger and stronger chess player, that you need to always check for your opponent's options. And the more you can instill that and have like a curiosity mindset about like, okay, what if they could take and do the obvious move? What if they don't? Is there anything in between, you know? And the more you can instill that, the better you will play and the higher your rating will be. Okay, opponent goes king f7, and we take the knight. So now we are up 4 points of material against an almost 2,000 rated opponent. We have 7 minutes on the clock. So do they. Things are looking good. Our opponent takes our knight. Now the natural instinct is just to recapture right away. But do we have a better move in this position? I think we do. So yeah, you guys have heard me say before, when you see a good move, look for a better one. Quote by Emmanuel Lasker. And yeah, we have a better move in this position. Notice that black is still underdeveloped. Black still has this rook in the corner. Their king, we're almost like ladder checkmating them. Like their king is kind of sketch. So let's go for that. Let's throw in the check. You wouldn't want to trade here. You're helping black develop. You're helping them untangle. You want to go for the check here. They can't block. We would just take. They have to move back, and they have to go to e8 to defend this rook. Otherwise, we're going to win their d8 rook for free. And then now, you have to keep in mind, we still want to take this bishop at some point, but do we have a better move? Because black is threatening to trade rooks. And maybe after that, it might be easier for black to kind of untangle, get this rook in the game. So is there a better move in this position? And I think there is. And the move I played in the game was rook to e6 check. Just breaking the option for trades. So now the king has to go to f8, only move. And now that I finally have black basically cornered, like this rook is pretty stuck now that the king is on f8. It's just very hard to get this rook into the game. Now was the time that I captured this bishop. So I felt like this was a very mature sequence of, you know, this is I think a little bit higher level chess that I was playing here. And I was pretty proud of my progress and the journey thus far and how this game went. Now in this position, my opponent played pawn to h6, and then a few seconds later they just resigned. And we beat our highest level opponent ever. So yeah, let's take a look at just the last part of this position. I don't think they should have resigned quite right away, but I think I kind of know why. Because, I mean, I was coming to stack on the 7th rank very quickly here. And you could also throw in this check, but I don't know if it really does anything, because then after the king moves, your rook is kind of tied down to defending the bishop. So yeah, I was still thinking, but I was planning to double up on the 7th rank. They can't block like this. You guys tell me why. Why can't they block here? What do you play as white? We have a nice blind swine checkmate. A very aesthetic one too. Both rooks are here. Both rooks are here. It's pretty nice. So yeah, black, maybe they saw this and realized like, oh, I don't think I can win, or I don't think I can save my pawn. But actually black can save their pawn because they could go rook h7, and I don't have a light square bishop or any piece that could kick this away. So for the moment, it's like kind of okay. But then, I mean, I'm going to stack up here, and I think I win the pawn eventually. I'm up a piece. It's a slower format game. It makes sense to resign. So yeah, just to recap, let's flip through again just really quickly. So this was Smith Morra. In this moment, the computer actually wanted knight d5, but it looked a little bit more complicated. I think my move still made sense, given my level, given I don't know if I could have performed with the line that the computer saw. And here we went for knight d5, and this move takes some cojones. I mean, this is not the exact like typical Smith Morra position. So I had to calculate like, oh, okay, I have this though, which is a different idea than I've had in any Smith Morra game so far, I think, actually. And black saw that, and then we just continued activating our pieces. We didn't have any concrete way to like improve our threats, so we just keep bringing pieces into the game. Rook comes out with tempo, and here we have the breakthrough. Our pieces are all very active, well positioned. Black's king is underdeveloped. Those are all hints that like, okay, we need to find a way to break through. And the additional information that black can't take the knight due to this skewer, that all gives us this opportunity to play e5. And if they recapture, that's just further aiding our development and our piece activation. So they go bishop b7. And here we found a tactic that, okay, actually if we take, they take, we take, their knight has to move. And then after all that, we've removed the defender and this knight is hanging. So, you know, that was just a nice find in this game. We did lose a pawn here because I didn't capture the most accurate way, but that's okay. Play continues. We trade. And from here, again, piece activation. The hints in this position are, number one, we have a rook pointed at black's king. Number two, they still haven't castled. Number three, loose pieces drop off. That's another Naroditsky saying, or at least one he used to say a lot. So we want to attack the loose piece. We want to activate our rook, and we want to activate this bishop. They come to try to defend the knight, which makes sense. This is a good move. They're developing and defending. And now we need that final breakthrough. We have everything active enough, and we can finally break through here. Check, and we're just winning material. We just slowly, through a couple of tactics in this game, we just slowly kept grinding that advantage, winning a little bit more material, a little more material. And then here, when we see a good move, we look for a better one. You could just trade, but then they're going to trade you, and maybe, you know, this rook is coming into the game, and you're still winning, but it's not the most dominant way to play. So to really just restrict black's position and really just get the maximum for what we have, you have to go for this ladder check, and you have to see that black's king is just kind of sus. Like, we can just check them. They have to go to the back rank, and then maybe we can even check them again. So I mean, even if we didn't have this move, rook e6 in this position, getting the rook on c7 is still very worth it because this is just very awkward for black. And then this move, rook e6, makes it even worse. I mean, it's really the nail in the coffin for black's position. Like, this rook is now just stuck in the corner. And now we'd calmly capture the bishop, which is just, this was such a nice sequence. And after black made one more move, they felt this position was just way too dominant, and they just want to know more. They want to know more of us, you know? So, yeah, that's my highest win rate, or highest rated opponent that I've beaten to date. And those themes, again, primarily the main theme of today's video is piece activation. And I want you guys to always, whenever there's like a moment where there's not necessarily a tactic or something concrete going on, look for ways to activate your pieces better. Every good move in this game was really activating our pieces to the maximum. So that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot.